like we're on overhauling. It is Thursday, June 23rd. 2 days for streetcar takeover. So here we are. Still a little ways to go. I can always make that white wire shorter if I need to. It kind of looks like it's bunched up on the fender. I did it the right way this time, so I did it the wrong way the first time and it worked. So I did it the right way this time, so it definitely should work. Sure. Better work. I did it this way I did it a whole lot better this time. I mean, a whole lot better. Last time was single wires and everything, and it was not okay. Looking back on it, but it worked. So.
I got power on the switches.
Fuel pump works. Oh, I don't have my engine ground. No, I don't have my engine ground on. Alright, so that's
Open USB back there.
That's my GPS. But that's power. So I should have power. Unless that's why that other cable's there, because that cable doesn't work. I gotta ground the engine, so I need to ground the chassis.
That's all anything left.
So I'm gonna ground it right there. It looks like that's where I had it ground before. I'm gonna go here to here. I just need to clean the surfaces so that they hold the ground properly. If it's got paint on it, it won't ground. Tomorrow, this is done. That's done. Need to do that. I need to do that. That's done. That's next. Next. Did that. Haven't done that. Haven't done any of the rest of that. Actually, this is done.
What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. I know it's been a hot minute since I've made a video or done a post as far as YouTube goes, but I really need to take some time off after thrashing to get the car done, presenting at Streetcar Takeover, and meeting with a whole bunch of you guys. Everything's been going pretty crazy ever since the build's been completed. Not completed, let me rephrase that. I'll go over that in a second. But ever since it got seen on Instagram, everything's been going crazy. People have been reaching out to me, wanting to meet up or asking me questions or this, that, and the other. And I really just need a break. It's very overwhelming to have, I think my Instagram grew like 400 followers or something crazy overnight. And then having messages and trying to answer people. I want to get to every single person that I can because I want you guys to have the information that you're looking for your own personal projects and everything else. But it's quite overwhelming, I learned. It blew up on TikTok too. If you haven't followed me on TikTok, it's 1chance. But I did a progressive video build, and then I did a tag with Steven with a Z, very well-known Z enthusiast and stuff, and it blew up as well. And I've been trying to mediate as much as I can with that. But we finally got the shop transitioned. I spent yesterday getting everything over here. So I want to show you guys around. So over here we have like supply cabinets. So it's got most of all the stuff that I used during the build. Kind of puts everything into perspective of how much it took, not including the other like 4 boxes of sandpaper and everything else. This is just going to be like storage for miscellaneous bolts down there until I get like a legit bolt bin. All of my wax and grease remover, primers, paint, clear coat, all the panel bonder stuff like that, all the fluids for the car, the electrical for stuff, et cetera, et cetera. So this is going to be pretty much the supply cabinet per se for builds and other things. Let's go. So that's that. Kind of resprayed it to just give it a fresh look. Again, it's just an old electrical cabinet we had laying around. Special piece. This is my grandfather's piece that used to be in his roller rink, skating rink. I can use it for a whole bunch of stuff. I use it for polishing and doing other stuff, cleaning up files with the brush, grinder, so on and so forth. Ended up making this. I know I showed it to you on the Instagram, but made this. Got this from a guy, helped out with machinery install or uninstall. Had a plant. He ended up giving me a nice retractable spool. Same with this, a nice retractable 3-plug electrical outlet. Made a little mount for all of this to work and got it all plumbed up and everything. So I got 2 lines, got the welder set up, got all that. I zip tied my sound bar in here so we have music and stuff for when we're working. Obviously you guys can't listen to it because it's copyright infringement. Gotta love it. Got a place for my toolbox, which it'll be in and out depending on where I am. Nice little unspooling rack. I haven't decided if that's where I'm going to keep it because of the possible interference with the box, but I might just raise it up a little bit. A little more stuff. English wheel, which is what I use for the fenders and the quarter panel and all that stuff. And there's still plenty of room here. I cut the draft fans off, so there's one there and there's one in the very back because they're extremely loud. But all this space is all free to do other stuff with. Engine hoist, engine building stand, a couple of my fiberglass sheets for welding and stuff, an extension cord, the good old rig that I use for recording all of the videos, and then this wonderful shelf to be able to actually store everything for the car. The exhaust switch is going to get modified here soon. I'm going to have to go through and figure out what parts and pieces I want to keep and what I'm going to do new. Have some really cool ideas and plans for this guy, so stay tuned for that. And then here we go. Here is the Bowtie Z32. It's absolutely amazing. It's everything that I wanted it to be. The reaction and Streetcar Takeover Charlotte was absolutely phenomenal. There were so many people that were excited to see the car, as well as people that didn't know anything about the car that came up and wanted to know more. Super, super, super just humbling listening to everybody and, seeing their reaction and what they thought of the vehicle, and especially seeing the bodywork. Obviously the fenders, I've got some clear coat issues I'm going to have to resolve. Like I still got a little bit of graying there from clear coat that I'm going to have to work out. You guys didn't get to see, I repainted the Akibonos and got the new logo on them. We got the wheels all cleaned up. They're all looking new again. It's still going to get lowered another 1.5 or 2 inches. It's sitting kind of high right now, and that's because that's what I needed to get the jack out from underneath the car. So there's going to be some things changing there. If any of you have a cowl, let me know. I would be happy to buy it from you. I'm not paying $300 and something for a new one. I'm just not doing it. If I have to make a new one, I'll make a new one. It is what it is. But I'd rather have an OEM piece if I can. Another issue, I'll go into an issue real quick. These. So I learned something interesting with stainless steel lines is that when you do stainless steel lines, you single flare them because they're so tough, they're so strong. And when you single flare them, a lot of brake fittings have to require what you call a double flare. And a double flare is where it comes up and flares, but then it rolls over to then block off, it's like blocking off the female to the male part of the fitting. Well, since I didn't do that because of single flares, I didn't know what I didn't know. And I didn't know that you had to double flare for these certain fittings that I was using. So whenever I went to go bleed the brakes and everything, fluid's just pouring out of there. It's just awful. This guy's empty now, which it was like full. It was all the way up to here. It's all bled out and everything. The clutch never bled. That's something I can work on. That's not a big deal. Everything was good there. But the brakes, I'm going to have to redo those. I'm not very happy about that, but it is what it is, a learning experience. I didn't know what I didn't know, and now I know that. Here we go on the inside of the car. We've got the wonderful aluminum pieces that I made and wrapped. So you can see my new start, stop, ignition, fuel, fan, my lights. I still got 3 other things to add in if I want to. There's the nice dimpled floor pan and my new glove box that hides all of my electronics, the relays, all that stuff. And here's the driver's floor pan with the pedals. Super happy about how that came out. It's amazing. Shout out to Randy Klontz over at CNC Tooling. He really, really helped me out a lot with doing this and getting it done in a very quick fashion. Again, another leak down there that I'll have to fix. Again, all the brake lines are going to have to be redone. So that's just, it is what it is. Coming back to the back, bumper came out amazing. The front bumper I repainted like literally 14 hours before the show, the night before. Battery relocate back here came out amazing, great quality. I'm gonna have to redo the ground terminal right there. It actually is too small for the ground that's there, so it wiggles and moves and stuff, so I want to redo that. But the harness, or the wiring harness that I made, came out amazing. Got the lights wired in back here. The only thing that's left to do is set up the blinkers and the main brake light on off. Fuel pump's all wired in. You got to make a cover for that guy just to keep it, again, covered up. Try not to have any issues with that. And there's I'll switch over. I'll come over this side. God, that guy's heavy. I don't have my actuators on here because I haven't installed the latch back yet. This guy was absolutely a clutch piece. I recommend anybody that's going to be doing this kind of build, or you're running any kind of like relay controlled electronics, anything like that, to get one of these. It's absolutely amazing. It's a phenomenal piece of hardware. Wired it in. Everything worked properly. The only thing I must say is make sure you get a good ground connection. I wired it to the battery. Now that I have the loose battery terminal, it does cause a little bit of an issue. So once I get that corrected, I shouldn't have any issues going forward. Following this, here's the rest of the harness. This is it. I mean, that's all the harness is. And the foot plate and the foot panel. I am going to order another seat. I just haven't done it yet because it wasn't on the top of my priority list right now. But you can see the nice glove box cover that keeps the electronics covered up. The e-brake, I still got to adjust it a little bit. It's still a little loose for my liking. And the wonderful seat. The headliner's back in too. Everything's back in up there. I am going to end up running some kind of LED light in here or something, and maybe relay control it to where I can turn it on to see at night, or do what I need to do. And the digital dash as well. I don't know if you guys can see it in the other picture. Did have another issue that I found was the O2 sensor is bad. So whenever I plugged it up and started to try to program the air fuel ratio, it couldn't read it. It was reading max wide open. And apparently when Bosch relays read wide open, that means they went bad. So I'm going to have to get another O2 sensor. You check out the body lines. Again, came out absolutely phenomenal. These fenders are just such a nice touch. This fender's probably going to end up getting a little bit of a respray. It's broke through in a couple areas. We're trying to get some runs out. Ongoing project, but it's a race car at the end of the day. I keep telling myself that and I keep, reiterating it, but part of me wants it to be absolutely perfect. And part of me is like, you need to let it go. It's a race car. Don't worry about it. One of the small touches that you guys saw on my Instagram that I didn't cover on video was this guy. This is a Corsa carbon fiber intake for a C6 Corvette. I got the idea from a fellow TikTok guy who actually has this done on his car. It's a different Corsa intake, different style. But he already had it done. I reached out to him and said, hey, man, what intake's that? It would be perfect for my build. And he was more than happy to guide it to me, to what I need. Other than that, everything else is pretty much the same that it was. Here's the Maven system all set up, all done. I do have to rewire this right here, which is my start solenoid relay. I ran out of connectors on this side to be able to use that were high voltage or amperage. That I could use the higher amperage relay control through it. So I had to run it through my secondary, which obviously caused an issue when you have to pull the engine because then you have two different wiring harnesses. This guy is mostly going to be for like the fans and lights and everything else that's going to stay on the car. So this guy won't ever hardly get pulled. This guy, however, will go with the engine. So I'm going to have to get a Deutsch connector. That's just one big, I think that's a 10 gauge wire. So I'm going to have to get a 10 gauge wire clicked together connector for that. And then here's the main power for the starter right here, which is a quick connect. So everything's shielded. Everything is high temp shielded. Went above and beyond trying to do that and make sure it was all done so that we didn't have any issues. Everything came out phenomenal for fitment. Everything runs great. I don't have any issues with the belts or anything like that. Did have a little bit of a coolant leak, but that was because the O-ring that was on the radiator actually had a slit in it. So I went ahead and just took some pipe tape, went over it a whole bunch and tucked it back in there. I didn't have any at the track, so I did that and it works fine. It works great. Other than the brake issue, the car was really nice. Everything worked really well. It had little to no issues. It fired up. I had a running issue right off the bat, and it was because we made a custom throttle cable. That was something that I haven't talked about or shown or anything. This guy is a custom linkage that my dad and I made. I'm going to have to go back and tighten it up and do some little bit of rework on it. But basically what happened was I had the pedal sitting like this. Once I got done connecting it to the actual pedal assembly itself, the throttle plate was open. So when I started the car, it went into some crazy mode that it couldn't figure out where it was. And it was holding like 5,000 RPMs. And that wasn't good. So fired it up and it went to 5,000 RPMs. I'd instantly kill it, trying to figure out what's wrong with it. And it turned out to be this guy being held open. So it was getting excess unmetered air, throwing fuel trim off, and so on and so forth. So I got that corrected. Everything's good. The belt assembly works really well. As you can see with my custom mount for the power steering pump, everything is perfectly in line. Everything works amazing. Shout out to ICT Billet for their awesome drive assemblies for this lower radiator or lower alternator mount. Works amazing. Works just absolutely perfectly, flawlessly. Overall, I'm super, super ecstatic with the car. It's just trying to get these little touches here and there done so we can drive it and enjoy it. There's going to be a lot of small things going forward in the future, like coming in here, making a shroud, aluminum shroud to come up underneath the bumper or attached to the bumper that then forces the air to come into the radiator and into the intake right here. I'm going to make a, instead of the nose panel being obviously the nose panel, I'm going to make a raised panel to flush up the headlights, meet those, come across, and this will all be blocked off. The hood will be cut or something to figure out this, but it's going to have a scoop in here to force all the air into the cleaner, so we're getting maximum air cleaner or air into the throttle plate or the throttle blade. Just some small things here and there that are going to be in a progression of the car as we go. But overall, this thing has just been absolutely killer. You guys have killed it on the internet with liking it and keeping up with it and showing it love. And I appreciate you guys so much for doing that. And I can't wait to bring it out to shows and bring it out to different events to let you guys see it in person, because it's really something really fantastic to behold in person and to experience. It's sitting a little high in the front, if you guys didn't notice that. Again, I need to drop this about 1.5 to 2 inches for it to be optimal ride height. But the guys over at Soho checked it out. They love the car. They love the build. They love the extent that I'm going to, and is also what the purpose of the car is going to be. So they're actually going to end up helping me out with some things, helping me out with alignment, helping me out with brakes, my brake bias setup and everything else, because they've been there, they've done that. And Nick and the guys over there at Soho Motorsports are absolutely phenomenal. So just want to give you guys a little bit of an update. This is not a video of me going to start a new build or trying to start a new project or anything like that. It's really just an update to let you guys know where we are, what happened, why I haven't been doing anything. And most of it is just me taking time off and doing a little bit R&R and getting this place set up so that we can start doing more videos and start working on the car again. There's still so much to do with the car that there will be future episodes and there will be future content with the car, guaranteed. And then we're going to try and get it on the track. We're going to go shake it down. After we get the exhaust done, we get the brakes fixed, we get the clutch bled. We're going to go shake it down, have some fun on the streets, take it to car shows, get people's reaction to it, stuff like that. And then we're going to go have track days with a couple of our buddies and a couple of my friends that have track cars and stuff and enjoy doing the track days themselves. So plenty of content coming. And I might have some new content with my girlfriend's car. She's switching up vehicles, and we'll see what she ends up getting. So we may end up having a little bit of content with her car as well. So I appreciate you guys coming around. Appreciate you guys being patient with me. I appreciate you guys giving me the likes, giving me the comments, give me the hey, good job, keep going when I needed it. There was a lot of really late nights 2 weeks ago, right before Streetcar Takeover, that I couldn't thank my parents, my family, my brother especially, my dad, my mom, and of course my girlfriend for staying up with me, helping me out any way they could. I know that they aren't as involved as I am with the hows and whats and whys, but they were above and beyond in helping me get the car finished so that we could bring it to Streetcar Takeover and give you guys some more content and give you guys an opportunity to come meet the car and see the car and stuff. So really, really big shout out to them, and shout out to you guys for continuing to support me. All the new followers, what's up? Thank you guys. I can't wait to bring you guys more content. Can't wait to show the car off. And if you're local to Monroe, North Carolina, let me know. I'd love to be able to meet up or something at a car meet or a car show or something and go over the car with you or help you out with doing this or doing that, or why'd you do this, or any kind of questions that you have. So thank you guys. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. As always, like, comment, subscribe. We'll catch you next time. Peace.